Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Sunday, Major League Baseball. First up, we've got the Roku game between the Red Sox and the Astros. We've got Framber Valdez and Lucas Giolito as the starters. Honestly, I'm not in love with this Sunday card in baseball. This is one of the games I'm not crazy about from a betting perspective. I think the Astros do win this game, but you can't deny that Lucas Giolito, as a starting pitcher this year, very profitable on the money line. The Red Sox have won a lot of his games. They've won 4 of his last 5 starts. He's been in pretty good form. He had a couple of not so great outings against the Cubs and the Phillies, but outside of that, in his last 5 games, he's been sharp. And like I said, the Red Sox have done a good job picking up those victories. But Framber Valdez has been really solid at Fenway Park in his career with a sub-3 ERA. The Red Sox have not been the best against lefties as of late. Low OPS and isolated power with a high strikeout rate to go with it. I'm going to side with the Astros in this game. I think they do enough against Giolito in more of a lower scoring game than we're used to seeing at Fenway for an Astros victory in the end. So give me Houston on the money line. Next up, we've got the Dodgers and the Rays. We got Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Joe Boyle as the starters. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game than what we're used to seeing at Steinbrenner Field in 2025. I think we go under the total. I've mentioned I think Joe Boyle is a good option long term for this Rays organization, whether it's as a starter or as a reliever. And he's pitched well at Steinbrenner Field so far this year. I think he has a decent outing. And Dodgers are a tough lineup, so wouldn't be surprised to see him give up a couple of runs. But I also think that Yamamoto pitches really well on the other side. He's got a sub-2 ERA on the road this season. The Rays offense not really in love with its current form against right-handed pitching, so I look for a lower scoring game. I actually like both these bullpens after the trade deadline, so I like the under in Dodgers Rays. Next up, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Kansas City Royals. We've got Seth Lugo and Chris Bassett as the starters. I'm going to isolate this game to the matchup between Lugo and the Blue Jays offense. I like the Blue Jays to go over their team total. I've mentioned I think we see big-time regression from Seth Lugo in the second half of the season. And you look at his last few games, some quality starts thrown in there, but you look at his last start, the Braves, 5 2/3, 7 base hits given up, 3 runs, 2 home runs, 4 walks to go with it. Really wasn't a great outing. It was a situation where the Royals were up big. I believe they were up 6-0 in the beginning of that game, and Lugo's struggles really got the Braves back into that game. They made it quite interesting. KC was able to hold on, add a couple of runs in the late innings to win it, but I was not impressed with Seth Lugo's performance. Now you're going on the road against the Blue Jays lineup that's had success against Lugo in the past. Lugo's not been the best on the road this season. His ERAs, he's been solid, but not as strong at Kauffman Stadium. He still has those underlying numbers that really scare me going forward. I think Lugo's in trouble in this one. I'm going to go Blue Jays team total over. Next up, we've got the Brewers and the Nationals. We've got Jacob Misiorowski and Brad Lord as the starters. Now, when you look at these two teams' records on paper, the current form and roster of the Nationals, the starting pitching matchup may all look lopsided in favor of Milwaukee, but I like the Nationals in this spot. I think, this has been a team that in the last couple of years combined solid home dog, and I like their chances to at least cover the run line in this one, if not win it outright. I mean, Brad Lord may not be my favorite starting pitching option in the world, but as of late, he's been pitching competitive baseball. 9 1/3 innings his last 2 games combined of 2 earned run baseball. Just gave up 1 base hit and 1 run against the Astros in his last start. 5 1/3 innings and a 2-1 Nationals win. The Nationals won both of his last 2 games. He's got a good ground ball to fly ball ratio, well above 50% in those 2 starts. And you're facing a Brewers team in this one that is the second highest ground ball percentage in Major League Baseball at right around 46%. So Lord actually matches up quite well in this game. He also faced these Brewers not long ago in Milwaukee in the middle of July. Went 3 1/3 combined of shutout baseball with a couple of strikeouts in those 2 bullpen appearances. So I think Lord matches up well. I think he pitches well. I think Misiorowski's obviously a great arm in this Brewers rotation, but so far on the road this season, he's not been the strongest. His last game wasn't his best either. He only went 4 innings of work. He had 7 strikeouts, but the pitch count got up on him really early. He had 80 pitches in those 4 innings, a couple of walks, 2 earned runs, 1 unearned run. I got to roll with the Nationals in this one, plus the 1.5 runs on the money line. I think they keep this game close, if not win it outright. Next up, we've got the Twins and the Guardians. We've got Simeon Woods Richardson and Joey Cantillo as the starters. Woods Richardson was pitching quite well, but then you look at his last two games, didn't pitch deep into the ball games, did struggle early on. I can't trust him in this game. I think the Guardians have the better lineup, bullpen, and starting pitcher in this one. So while I'm not the biggest Joey Cantillo fan, I think he'll be good enough for a Guardians victory at Progressive Field. Next up, we've got the Yankees and the Marlins. We got Luis Gil and Edward Cabrera as the starters. 2024 American League Rookie of the Year winner Luis Gil makes his season debut for this game. And, he had some rehab starts in AA and AAA, 14 and third innings combined. Not the best numbers. ERA above 5. Now, he had great strikeout numbers, and that's exactly what the Yankees are looking for, but his control was off quite a bit. He gave up 7 walks and 4 home runs in those 14 and third innings, good for a 2.5 and 4.4 home run and walks per 9. Not great, and we're going to see him in his season debut against a tough Marlins lineup that's proven to be a lot better than expected, and it's proven to be very competitive in this series. I think Gil could struggle. I also don't think he'll pitch too deep in this ball game. And while I like this Yankees bullpen long term, and I like the moves that they made at the deadline, there's no joke. There's no denying that they really struggled in the first game of the series. I mean, it seemed like every Yankee trade deadline pickup was miserable in that first game in their Yankees debut, with Jake Bird giving up the grand slam, Bednar giving up a home run, Doval blowing the lead in the bottom of the ninth, and of course Caballero making the big error in that same inning in the bottom of the ninth. So just a disaster for the new Yankees, but I think they'll be fine eventually. But in this series, the Marlins have been competitive, and we're getting a great price with a good starting pitcher in Edward Cabrera. I'm going to take the fish on the money line. Next up, we've got the Giants and the Mets. We've got Frankie Montas and Carson Weisenhunt as the starters. Now, as much as I don't love backing Frankie Montas for New York, I really don't think Weisenhunt is a major league ready option for the Giants right now. He pitched in that first game, his major league debut against the Pirates, 5 innings, 4 runs, a home run, and a couple of walks to go with it. And really, you look at his numbers in the minor leagues, they weren't great. I mean, the strikeout numbers weren't there. I think that the Mets will be able to get to Weisenhunt, honestly. Even though this is a team that's been kind of inconsistent against left-handed pitching, the Mets offense, they should be able to get to him, and I think Montas will be good enough. He's been pretty good at Citi Field so far. He struggled badly on the road, but as long as he can go 5, 6, 3, even maybe 4-run innings, I think the Mets will find a way to win this game. So maybe a lean towards the over, but I do think the Mets find the W. Give me the Mets on the money line. Next up, we've got the Orioles and the Cubs. We've got Colin Ray for Chicago, but no official starter right now for Baltimore. Obviously, with the lack of pitching information, probably be staying away from this game at first, waiting to see what Baltimore decides to do. But I'll tell you, I do lean right now to the O's plus the 1.5 runs. I think they're going to be competitive against Colin Ray, who has not been the sharpest as of late. He was pitching really well at the beginning of the season. He's had a sub-3 ERA for the longest time. Then it was sub-4. Now it's above 4 at 4.25. The Orioles, they obviously were big-time sellers at the deadline, and a couple of those pieces were out of their lineup, Cedric Mullins, Ryan O'Hearn, but this is still a pretty solid top 5, top 6 in the current Orioles lineup. Rutschman, Henderson, Tyler O'Neill. There's pieces. I mean, obviously Jackson Holiday. So this is an Orioles lineup I still think will be competitive against right-handed pitching. They've been great against righties in the last couple of weeks as a team, and I think they get to Ray. So I'm going to lean right now to the Orioles plus the 1.5 runs on the road. Next up, the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Colorado Rockies. We see Mitch Keller and Bradley Blaylock as the starters. Mitch Keller just one career start at Coors Field, but it was a very good outing, a quality start. No earned runs, just one unearned run given up from Keller. He's been pitching well in 2025. A lot of people expected him to be traded at the deadline. The Pirates hold on to him. I think he pitches well down the stretch this season. Now, Bradley Blaylock has been better as of late, but not so much at Coors Field this season. We've seen him get crushed at Coors. I think the Pirates get to him. Now, this has been a wacky series, so for me, I think there probably is better games on the board to look at from a betting perspective, but I will lean towards the Pirates on the money line. Next up, we've got the Diamondbacks and the Athletics. We've got Eduardo Rodriguez for Arizona, but no official starter right now for the A's. Rodriguez has not fared too well recently. The last game against the Tigers, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs given up. The Diamondbacks have lost his last 5 games. They haven't backed him up offensively. I just can't get there with Arizona in this game. Now, the A's have been a lot better against righties than lefties as of late offensively, but they should still be able to get to Rodriguez at a hitter-friendly ballpark against a struggling starting pitcher. I think that the Athletics win this game in the end, so give me the A's on the money line. Next up, we've got the Chicago White Sox taking on the Los Angeles Angels. We got Sean Burke and Jack Kohanowitz as the starters. Now, for much of this season, I've talked about how Sean Burke is at an expected ERA that's much, much higher than the average starting pitcher that has had as many innings pitched as he's had, over 100 innings in 2025 for Sean Burke. But what I will say is a lot of that was because he wasn't missing a lot of bats. The walks were piling up, and as a result, any pitcher's expected numbers are not going to be great if you pitch that way. He also gave up a good amount of home runs. But as of late, Sean Burke in his last 5 games, even though the White Sox are immediately 1-4 in those starts, Burke has been able to earn 5+ strikeouts in 4 of those 5 games. He's given up 2 or fewer walks in 3 of those 5 games, and he hasn't given up a home run in 3 straight outings. So I take it that Sean Burke is a big fan of Ron's Rundown, has watched me talk about the expected numbers that he needs to work on, and he decided, you know what, Ron, you're right. I'm going to start missing some more bats. I'm going to earn some more strikeouts. He had 8 strikeouts his last game against the cross-city rivals in the Chicago Cubs. And look at him now. I'm going to back Sean Burke because he watches Ron's Rundown, because he's a big fan. I'm going to back Sean Burke because I like the current form that he's in. I think that he's the better option in this game compared to Kohanowitz. I think the White Sox offense is shown to be really competitive as of late with great numbers against both lefties and righties. I'm going to side with the White Sox in this one at a pretty good price on the money line. Next up, we've got the Cardinals and the Padres. We've got Andre Pallante and Dylan Cease as the projected starters. Now, the Cardinals' current roster actually has decent numbers against Dylan Cease in previous matchups, but this St. Louis offense has been dreadful against right-handed pitching. In the last 2 weeks, St. Louis is dead last in team OPS against righties, so I think Dylan Cease actually matches up well in this game and puts together a good outing. I also think this Padres bullpen is really, really strong after the deadline, adding one of the best closers in baseball, already having one of the better closers in Robert Suarez. This is a great Padres bullpen. On the other side, though, I think Pallante pitches quite well for himself. He's coming off one of his best outings of the season. Even before that, where he struggled against the Rockies, he was able to keep the ball on the ground a majority of his balls put into play, and that's exactly where Pallante needs to be. He's not a strikeout guy. He doesn't have good enough strikeout stuff to miss enough bats to be successful. He's got to be able to limit sharp contact, keep the ball on the ground, get those ground ball double play outs when he's putting guys on base via the free pass. And I think he does that in this game against the Padres lineup. It's the 5th highest ground ball percentage in Major League Baseball. So give me the under. I lean towards San Diego to win this game in the end. I think their bullpen is quite superior, but I think the Padres and Cardinals go well under the total at Petco Park. Next up, we've got the Rangers and the Mariners. We've got Jacob deGrom and Logan Evans as the starters. I talked about Logan Evans with a sub-3 ERA at the time, his last start against the Athletics, that I was looking for big-time regression in his game going forward. 6 earned runs given up in that last start against the A's. Did have 7 strikeouts, but 2 home runs, 2 walks in a bad outing, 6-1 final in favor of the A's. I think he continues to regress with an expected ERA in the 5s. I think the Rangers get to him. I think deGrom is a good option for Texas. Give me the Rangers on the money line and run line on the road. Next up, the final game for Sunday's card in Major League Baseball. It's the Tigers and the Phillies. Troy Melton and Christopher Sanchez are your starters. It was definitely a good sign to see Melton bounce back from his tough Major League debut, pitching really well against the Diamondbacks of 7 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts to go with it, and a 5-1 Tigers win. But that's a Diamondbacks team that's looked absolutely lost at the plate in the last couple of weeks, especially after the deadline, losing a few of their best bats in Naylor and Suarez. Now you're facing a Phillies team that has been really strong against right-handed pitching in the last couple of weeks with great OPS and ISO numbers, also a reasonably low strikeout rate and high walk rate to go with it. The Tigers have not been great against left-handed pitching in the last couple of weeks. I think Sanchez bounces back from one of his weaker outings of the season. I think the Phillies win this game at home. Give me Philadelphia on the money line and run line. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.